Right, with around 2 new stores a month opening in our region, Tesco's expansion plans have met with some lively criticism in the past year. But as the company's chief executive opened a new kind of supermarket in Cambridgeshire today, even green groups welcomed it with a bit of caution.
Yes, that's because Sir Terry Leahy was in Ramsey to open the world's first zero-carbon store with Suffolk Coastal MP John Gummer. Sir Terry's visit came as Tesco actually pledged to invest £100 million in UK green technology companies in the next year.
So then how do Tesco plan to make the store zero carbon? Well, the new building has a timber frame made from sustainable sources instead of steel. It's got in-store lighting that dims as the natural daylight increases. And there's rainwater collection facilities on the roof to use in the car wash and store toilets. There's also energy-efficient equipment such as low-energy bakery ovens.
Well, earlier I actually got the chance to have a chat with Sir Terry Leahy in more detail and started by asking him whether his customers were as keen to go green.
I think so, yes. I mean, they do expect us to set a good example in the way we run our business, and this is why Ramsey store is so important, because this store is the first in the world that actually uses no carbon. But, of course, they also expect us to help them, too, with good information, things like labelling the carbon content of products, bringing down the price of green products, and encouraging them with things like Green Club card points. But they are interested and they are keen.
But the fact that we use so much packaging still, we still use those plastic bags, we're flying fruit and veg in from all over the world, can it really be zero carbon?
The store certainly is, yes, in terms of how the store operates. The products that are sold and made all over the world, of course, that still uses carbon, and we've worked to do there to reduce the packaging, to reduce the carbon content of products. But we are determined to work with our manufacturer partners and farmers to reduce the carbon content of products. Now, clearly the starting point is that modern mass consumption is high carbon, so you're not going to do this overnight, but we're setting out on a long journey. We've set some ambitious targets, and I'm very confident that we will make progress, that people can continue to enjoy a good standard of living, the material benefits of life, but without using the carbon in the future that they use today.
How does your pledge to cut your carbon emissions really fit in with your general global expansion plan? Can they really marry together?
Well, they have to, because we've said that by 2050, the entirety of Tesco has got to be zero carbon. So everything we do all over the world has to be zero carbon. And, of course, to get there, by 2020, we'll have to have reduced by half the carbon that we use in our operation. And that's why Ramsey is so important. It's a world's first, and it's where we've laid out all of the things that we're going to have to do.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
A reminder that we all need to do our bit to go green, I think. Now, it is 12 minutes past 6. You're watching Tuesday's Anglia Tonight.
Now, still to come, all the news and sport from where you live, plus
getting ready for a
more news now from your part of the region, and it's been reported that a Norwich Housing officer dismissed for gross misconduct has reached a financial settlement with the City Council. Christine Reeves was dismissed for letting staff move into low-rent homes and taking one of the properties herself. Residents had been moved out after being told their homes in the Greyhound complex were to be demolished. Miss Reeves was planning to take the case to a tribunal. The council said it was unable to comment on the matter.
Plans to spend £2 million repairing a crumbling section of the Harbour wall at Southwold in Suffolk have met with criticism. Last February, a chunk of the wall fell into the water, prompting calls for urgent repairs. The council's now hoping to carry out the work next winter, but Harbour users say the proposals cut corners and more extensive work is needed in the long term.
Now, coming up later on the national news, we'll have all the glitz and glamour from the Oscar nominations.
And Hollywood is about to make an impact much close to home, but not necessarily in the way that you'd expect. Our reporter Tom Barton takes up the story.
It's one of the world's most iconic landmarks in one of the world's most glamorous cities. And it's the inspiration for a brand new structure in Basildon. The 2-metre-high letters are being made at this sign-making factory, just up the road from where they'll be built on the A127. work hasn't started yet, but with the magic of television, we can show you what they'll look like.
It's in a very prominent location and should create a significant interest, I think, for people who actually work in the area and also people passing through that just didn't realise that they'd arrived in Basildon.
It's quite clear where you've got your inspiration from. It's very similar to the famous Hollywood sign. A lot of people would say Basildon isn't necessarily Beverly Hills.
Yes, that could be true.
But you still think it's got a lot going for it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good way of publicising the fact that Basildon isn't just a name that appears in the papers occasionally, that actually there is industry here and it's a busy and thriving industry.
Basildon has been long neglected, and the creators of this project hope that these signs will mean that when people are travelling from A to B, they'll stop off in Basildon. What do you think of the idea?
Yeah, I think that's good. Proud of Essex. Proud of Basildon.
It's a bit silly, really. I mean, that's what you've got road signs for, to tell you the way you're going.
Well, I'll wait until I see it.
You're not convinced?
No.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't see it being a problem, yeah.
That's right. Is it a
Yeah,
nice
looks
idea?
good. Yeah, definitely. Look very nice. Yeah.
Some say it's long needed a bit of cosmetic surgery. Maybe this will be just the start of Basildon's Hollywood makeover. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Basildon.
Well, it's certainly going to be eye-catching, isn't it? Now, after 50 years, one of the region's last remaining outdoor pools looks set for a facelift.
Beccles Lido closed last year because it was costing the council too much money. Now a group of people are taking over its running and hope to restore it to former glories in time for the summer. Martin Stew has more.
Run down, ramshackled and left for ruin. Since last year, Beccles Lido has been shut. The council unable to afford its upkeep and its heating. But now there's a ray of hope. A group of local residents are taking over the pool and with the help of £140,000 funding from British Gas are hoping to bring it back to its former glory.
Well, as a schoolgirl, I learnt to swim here in the river, which was fenced off, and it was called Beccles Bathing Place. And our dream is to reopen the pool this year so we can all be in a fantastic, newly refurbished swimming pool for the town.
There's been swimming at this site since 1873. It's a tradition they're keen to maintain. Volunteers have already given hundreds of hours of their time preparing the area for much-needed renovation.
You're taking a swimming pool and putting it from practically a derelict site, a derelict operation into working order. So it's a big, big job.
The money from British Gas will pay for energy-efficient improvements. Solar panels will be mounted on the changing rooms and ground-to-air heating will ensure the future of Beccles Lido will be sustainable in every sense of the word.
Providing green energy is great for the planet, but it's also good for the for the finances of the pool. Hopefully it will cut the running costs right down, as well as cutting the carbon emissions right down.
The group still need to raise more money to realise their dream, but with their energy, their passion and this view from the pool, they're confident come the summer this Lido will once again be the heart of the town. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Beccles.
Great to see it on its way back. Now, 5 trees have been planted in Colchester to commemorate the members of 16 air assault brigades who have died since the brigade's formation 10 years ago. The trees were planted in the town's Castle Park following an appeal by local MP Bob Russell to mark the passing of the soldiers from the local garrison. A plaque was also unveiled before a special service was held.
A new university campus is set to be built in Essex after winning approval from councillors. Anglia Ruskin University already has bases in Cambridge and Chelmsford and has secured £9.3 million funding for a new centre in Harlow. The campus will include a 96-seat lecture theatre and initially offer degrees in 6 subjects like IT, business management and journalism.